We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Welcome, my friends, to the end of 2025. The final countdown is on, and I know a lot of people are like, good riddance, goodbye. We'll see you later, 2025. Others might have had a great year. We'll talk about the year that was 2025 today, and we'll also talk about some current events as well. I will be yelling about Somalis, I promise. I do promise. You've come to expect it, and I don't want to let you down. It's actually been a lot more of fallout from the Somalis in Minnesota and the fraud, which we'll get to. But first, I have a very, very special guest in studio. Hello, sir. What is your name, and what do you do?
I'm Brooks Hand, and I play baseball.
That's right. What's up, guy? How are you? Well, thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
What do you think about the year that was 2025? What was your favorite thing about 2025, young Brooks?
Spending my time with my brother.
Spending time with your brother? That's a heck of an answer, my man. Good job. What was your second favorite thing of 2025?
Nothing.
Nothing. It was number one was playing with your brother. That was it?
Yep.
No number two.
And you.
Oh, my guy. He knows how to grease the wheels. This is a kid that wants In-N-Out after we leave the radio station today. Are you excited about In-N-Out?
Yes.
So we had Kennedy in on Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve, and Brooks was like, well, I got to come in for a end of the year show. And I think that secretly you're more excited about the In-N-Out than you are about being on the air with me.
You guys didn't hear this, but I am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the honesty. I appreciate it. We got a big show today. What did you plan to talk about?
Everything.
That's right. We're going to talk about everything here on the show. Brooks is 8 years old. You spent the year homeschooling. Do you have any friends or any teachers that you want to say thank you to for helping you out in 2025?
Thank you for my two teachers, Mrs. Wright and Mrs. Frank.
What do you think about those teachers?
They're awesome.
What do they teach you?
So Mrs. Frank, I'm a math mover, which means I go to a different class for third grade math only because I'm in second grade. And then my other teacher teaches me everything else like science and all the other boring stuff.
Okay, good to know. You like math though, right?
Math is the best.
And then you have a third teacher, if I recall correctly. I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Virginia.
Oh, that's right. Miss Virginia. She's your favorite teacher, obviously?
Yes.
She's the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
She handles the heavy lifting.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an angel.
Yes.
Yeah, we love that teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So Brooks is homeschooled. He does a hybrid. So how many days are you in a classroom?
3 days a week.
2 days a week you're in the classroom. 3 days a week you're with.
At home.
But you boil that down into 2 days of work, right? Is that where you get
Yeah.
your Fridays off most weeks?
So I double time it on Thursdays, and then I get a Friday off.
That's pretty awesome. Do you think you could do that in a public school?
No.
No, you wouldn't be able to do that in a public school. We're going to have a lot of fun today, man. I'm excited to have you in studio. Feel free to chime in as we move along during the show, okay? If you got any
Okay.
questions, you just let me know.
Okay.
If you have any questions about the rampant fraud in Minnesota, I'm here to help explain it, okay?
Okay.
All right, appreciate it. Brooks is going to be behind the scenes. He'll be answering phone calls today. He'll be working the board with Mason. Brooks, we're putting him to work. We're skirting child labor laws. The week between Christmas and New Year's, all the people that really pay attention to the child labor laws, they're not paying attention.
I pay attention.
We're going to put you to work, okay?
Okay.
All right, Brooks Hand is in studio. That is my 8-year-old son. We're excited to have him here today. Excited to have you guys here today. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. 615-737-9986. Let's talk about some Somali fraud, shall we? That's the biggest story in the country. What has been exposed in Minnesota? It has been the biggest story for a couple days now, and we are very, very attentive to what's going on here. J.D. Vance yesterday commenting on the actions that the Trump administration are taking. We have seen that all child care payments are being frozen that go to the state of Minnesota. J.D. Vance says turning off payments and forcing verification before taxpayer money flows out the door is one of the most important steps we can take to end the fraud in Minnesota, but there will be many more steps to come. We had this announcement from Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill yesterday.
I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I have just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov.
So fraud reporting, payment verification, it seems like this should have been day one stuff. It seems like this should have been baked into the cake. I got my 8-year-old in here. Buddy, they were running fake daycares and siphoning millions upon millions of dollars of taxpayer money. So you know how we pay taxes to the government?
Yeah.
So they were taking my tax dollars and Mason's tax dollars and Jay Harper's tax dollars, and they were sending them to daycares in Minnesota, and they were saying, we're taking care of 100 kids. And then an investigative journalist went to Minnesota and knocked on the door and said, hey, I have a son that I want to put in this daycare. And they said, no, we're closed. And it was like 2 o'clock on a Monday afternoon.
What the heck? Scam?
Exactly. Thank you. So simple an 8-year-old could figure it out. Brooks, you're pretty sharp, man. But what we're seeing is the Trump administration taking steps today to stop the fraud, turning off payments, forcing verification before taxpayer money flows out the door. This should have been a step one. Before you even created the program, this should have been in place. It wasn't. I don't know why, unless rampant fraud was the goal, but that's what we got. We also have DHS confirming to Fox News that they are actively auditing immigration cases for Somali U.S. citizens to look for fraud that would warrant potential denaturalization. Oh, you're an American citizen? Well, it turns out that you've been gaming the system, so we're going to actually revoke that. They're also auditing cases for migrants from 18 other countries of concerns. There was a DHS statement that was given to Fox via Deputy DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. She said, under U.S. law, if an individual procures citizenship on a fraudulent basis, that is grounds for denaturalization. This, as several members of the GOP have called for Somalis convicted in the Minnesota fraud scheme to be denaturalized and deported. Denaturalization is a very rare process with typically only between a dozen to a few dozen cases per year going back to the 90s. But it's a lengthy, resource-intensive, and high legal burden to meet. The government must prove illegal procurement during the citizenship process. Some of those things could be any false representation to obtain citizenship, could be marriage fraud. Looking at you, Ilhan Omar, and your brother. And these will be the things that DHS will be looking at in these countries. But in the meantime, while we're pointing all this out and we're making this case that the Somalis have been up to no good in Minnesota, we're being called all the names under the sun. We're being called racists. We're being called bigots. We're being told that we're targeting a certain community, and that is bovine scatology. The scams in Minnesota shouldn't surprise anyone. And one social media influencer took to the internet to explain exactly why. This is an absolute truth nuke. If you've ever heard a truth nuke, Somalia, low trust country. Do you know what happens when you bring people from a low trust country into a high trust country? Well, you see things like we're seeing today in Minnesota.
You know why these scams in Minnesota should not surprise anybody? Because Somalia ranks 179th out of the 180 countries ranked on the Corruption Perceptions Index. And when you import vast amounts of people from a low-trust, corrupt society where scams are rampant, don't be surprised when they engage in low-trust scam behavior.
But you are seeing them being surprised. You're seeing this shock. How could this have happened? Well, you imported people from a low-trust society. 179 out of 180 of the countries ranked in the corruption index. And we're shocked. We're stunned. We're amazed. How could this have happened? How did this not get exposed sooner? How did this not happen sooner? These are the questions that we have.
You're seeing this all over Europe, where all of these high-trust societies are bringing in hordes of people from low-trust societies, and then they're surprised when the welfare programs that depend on social trust, they're surprised when those are taken advantage of. That's exactly what happened in Minnesota. You have a welfare program that depended on a high level of social trust, and that social trust was violated by people who come from a society that has low levels of social trust. Again, they were ranked 179th out of the 180 countries ranked on the Corruption Perceptions Index.
179 out of 180. And we're being told by calling this out, by exposing this, by highlighting it, we're targeting an entire community. We are evil, racist bigots. But we're not. And you're not. And we know that that's just a joke. And luckily, they've completely devalued the terms. So it rolls off our backs like water on a seal. Like it's nothing. It's, you're calling me that name again? Great. Your boos mean nothing because we've seen what makes you cheer. The Trump administration is all over this. Again, Deputy DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin calling out the media, calling out these news organizations, saying that they're trying to whitewash operational facts on the ground by saying that, Nick Shirley, he didn't expose anything. Nick Shirley, he's not telling anybody anything new. Tricia McLaughlin last night on Fox News, I believe this is the Hannity show. It was Jason Chavez filling in for Hannity.
As we speak, our Homeland Security investigators, hundreds are on the ground. They're knocking doors. They're going to local businesses. They're going to these sites where we believe that there is rampant fraud, whether it be daycare centers, healthcare centers, or other organizations that take taxpayer dollars. Our Homeland Security investigators on the ground are also seeing that these suspected perpetrators are really trying to cover their tracks. They're trying to whitewash the operational facts on the ground, purporting to be a legitimate business, have legitimate business operations. when it's all a fugazi. So we're going to continue to ask those questions. We're learning more and more, especially with the FBI and our DOJ partners on the ground.
They're trying to whitewash it, but it's all a fugazi. It's a fugazi. Not a Benghazi, not to be confused with other Democrat scandals. It's a fugazi. It's a fuga. It's just as messy. Jeez, it's a train wreck.
Yeah, it's similar to using gate on the end of everything now. It's a Ghazi of something.
It's a Mingazi.
Yep.
It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. And you have the mainstream media covering up for it. You have the Somalis on the ground pretending to be legitimate business operations. We talked about it yesterday. The state of Minnesota said that the Quality Learning Center was shut down last week, permanently closed. And then also yesterday, you had hundreds of kids, just, dozens of kids coming in and out of that same daycare center. They're like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's like, the state said you were shut down last week. You guys are saying you're back open. It's like the Spider-Man meme. I don't know who's lying. Somebody is. Probably both of you. We got more on the Somali fraud on the way. More and more people are speaking out. Nick Shirley has made some comments. CBS attempted to debunk Nick Shirley's reporting. Their source was, trust me, bro. I thought CBS was going to be a little bit better now that they have Barry Weiss at the helm. That's what we've been to. She's a conservative. Is she? Because when you look at the reporting from CBS, CBS. 921, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you lived through 2025 with chronic pain, don't make that past your future in 2026. Talk to my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you're dealing with back pain, neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging discs, pain, numbness in your arms or legs, you need to know about the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Mitchell and his team, Dr. Ashley, these guys are the best, and they're actually the first and only office in Tennessee with a brand new device that's called the HydroWave. The HydroWave stimulates stem cells for real cellular healing. No surgery, no needles, no opioids, just the HydroWave. You pair that with a non-surgical spinal and knee decompression. This is about as advanced as it gets. These guys are using anti-gravity machines, robotic lasers, and they're actually going to take the time to review your MRI and explain what's happening and how to fix it. Start a pain-free life. Live 2026 pain-free. It is possible. Call the Wellness Institute of Nashville today. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Or book an appointment online. Painisbad.com.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the Postal Service is making some changes to postmarks. And believe it or not, that's going to have an effect on certain things. We'll have details. And we'll also have the latest on the surprising weekly jobless claims. That's coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. We got young Brooks Hand. Back in the studio with Mason. He's hitting some buttons. He's answering your phone calls, 615-737-9986. Shout out to everybody on the YouTube chat. Shout out to everybody watching on Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. I was just talking to Mason. We've had some decent numbers this week. Maybe you're checking out the YouTube channel for the first time because you're off work. We appreciate you doing so. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out and help us grow that digital footprint of the radio station. It will help us in 2026 get bigger interviews, have bigger shows, and do more. It seems like it's a bit overrated that would actually impact the radio station that much, but it will. So we ask you to do so. And if you don't want to hit like and hit subscribe during my show, maybe you'll feel the need to do it when Joan Jones is on the air filling in for Chad Benson between noon and 3 today. I'm looking forward to that show, and I hope you are as well. On the way, we're going to talk a lot more about the Minnesota Somali fraud. This is a crisis, a refugee crisis. But it's not an illegal migration crisis. It's a legal immigration crisis. And Senator Eric Schmidt made that point last night on Fox News. This isn't an illegal alien problem. This is a legal alien problem.
There's two issues. The first is we're seeing, I think, just sadly, the tip of the iceberg of this fraud from these Somali strongholds in the United States. It's in Minnesota. You've talked about Maine. You've talked about Ohio. This is a scam that reaches far and wide. And I'm kind of tired of the talk. This is a broader legal immigration problem. We talk a lot about illegal immigration, but this is a legal immigration problem. So from my perspective, under 18 U.S.C. 1343, the wire fraud statute, there ought to be prosecutions immediately.
Yep.
Every visa that can be revoked should be revoked. Every deportation that should happen right away.
Amen.
And in some cases where necessary, denaturalization should happen. A strong signal should be sent to immigrant communities that if you're going to come here and fleece the American taxpayer, we're actually going to prioritize taxpayers over this toxic empathy that's dominated the Democrat Party.
Thank you, sir. We do need to prioritize American taxpayers over the illegal aliens. It hasn't happened in quite a few years, but hopefully we can get back to that. I love that he brings up toxic empathy because that's what we're seeing in real time. And I love that he talks about not just deportation, but denaturalization. We need more of this. Senator Eric Schmidt out of Missouri.
Secondly, you talked about some of the COVID fraud abuse. The Biden administration, Jason, pushed so much money out the door for causes and issues that were never related to COVID. I think you're going to see another wave of this fraud, and you have to have state AGs who are serious about it, and hopefully President Trump's U.S. attorneys, when those state AGs don't step up, do it as well. But I think Congress certainly plays a role. But I'm sort of done with the talking. This is about prosecutions now.
Amen.
This is about putting people in jail that have taken billions of dollars, billions of dollars.
He's absolutely right. We're getting to the point where the talking is just going to become noise if we don't see action. 9:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 9:30, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you that New Year's weather forecast here shortly. A big change is coming for those who put off paying their bills by mail. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has details.
The U.S. Postal Service is adjusting the rules around when letters are postmarked. So typically, when you send an envelope, the postmark date is stamped as the same date you drop it in your mailbox or at the post office. Well, now that postmark date could be several days later when an envelope is actually processed at the mail facility. So if you're up against a deadline on a bill, you probably want to send it maybe even a week earlier or risk paying a late fee.
Economists they've missed the mark again on weekly jobless claims. ABC's Jim Ryan says some on Wall Street were predicting an increase in filings.
Instead, the figure fell by 16,000 and was back below 200,000 in the week ending December 27th. But that comes just weeks after jobless claims surged to their highest in over 4 years. Analysts say holiday hiring and the residual effect of the federal shutdown has created additional volatility in the job market.
Back here in Tennessee, beginning tomorrow, January 1st, Tennessee will expand the ways in which law enforcement can build a case against someone for driving under the influence during a traffic stop. News 2's Aubrey Mayer has more.
Starting next year, Tennessee is expanding the ways in which law enforcement can build a case against someone for DUI during a traffic stop, starting with a swab of your saliva. And those results can be used in court. The law also increases the suspension period for someone suspected of misdemeanor DUI when they refuse a roadside test from 1 year to a year and a half. The law also clarifies that refusing a test is still a violation, even if a blood sample is obtained later.
That is the latest news. We've got weather next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Do you need health insurance, but you're kicking yourself because you missed open enrollment? You know you don't have to kick yourself. You know open enrollment doesn't really matter. It's like the biggest myth in health insurance. That's just what the big guys want you to think. With Cover Nash, you can get covered today, right now, by 9:40. If you call Shane Ring, no waiting, no gimmicks. Missed open enrollment, no problem. Lost job coverage, no problem. You're sick of overpriced junk insurance? Who isn't? Call Shane Ring today. Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits for specialists even, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care, plans for individuals, families, self-employed, small businesses. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, stop thinking you're stuck. Call my friend Shane Ring today at Cover Nash, 615-465-0023. I would bet Shane's at his desk right now. I would actually wager Shane is not taking today off. 615-465-0023 or go to covernash.com. Should kids be on this platform, period?
No, it's not worth it. It's only going to create headaches for you.
Roblox itself, it is a predator haven. There are games on Roblox like XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. That's about 7 million visits, and the whole premise of the game is showering together with kids.
It's basically open season for sex predators on this app. For this reason and all of the others that we've talked about today, Roblox is violating Louisiana law.
If you join it, you're going to see predators, you're going to see naked avatars, you're going to see people peeing and all this sort of weird stuff. If I was a parent and I saw that, I would be outraged. I would be totally outraged. And parents aren't aware of this.
Because there is so much content and it's so difficult to monitor, and there's, 40% of their users are under the age of 13, of course it's a place where predators have learned how to network and gather and groom children.
It's 9:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Mason Fleming producing, sort of. He's kind of got his feet kicked up right now, and my 8-year-old's back there. We're skirting the child labor laws. Brooks Hand is really doing the producing. He's answering the phone calls, too. If you want to join the show, 615-737-9986. You're more than welcome to. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're just going to have some fun today.
How about you bitch? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
And Mason just showed Brooks where all the hotkeys are. I love it. I love it. You guys having fun back there?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Have you found any more hotkeys that you want to click?
Is there? Yeah.
Give me a hotkey. Just give me something. What do you got?
If those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
Yep. That's a timely hotkey because we were talking about the Somali fraud and the daycares. If those kids were actually in those daycares, they'd be very upset. They weren't in the daycares. Rep Pat Fallon called what we're seeing in Minnesota industrial scale fraud. Industrial scale fraud. I had a texter. Chuck texted me. He said, Chris, do you really think the child care fraud is limited to Somalis in Minnesota? No.
People be sexting.
Obviously not. Thanks for the text, Chuck. But the fraud in Minnesota is unbelievable. It's at a level that we've never seen before. 7436 texted in, wants to know Brooks's position on the annexation of Puerto Rico. I'll have to talk to him about it in the break, and we'll get you the details. But we're talking about Minnesota fraud. Rep Pat Fallon. What's the difference between normal child care fraud and the child care fraud that we saw in Minnesota based on the Nick Shirley reporting and the overall fraud that we're seeing in Minnesota, the autism scandals, the Feeding Our Future scandals, the healthcare services, the non-emergency transportation services? The difference is that with the Somali community, it's industrial scale fraud.
Now, this is startling stuff. The fact that the governor says had nothing to do with it, and didn't know about it, but has been mandating these investigations is suspect, to say the very least. This has been going on since 2015. We're now 2025, going into 26. How did it just go on for this long, 10 years, and nobody noticed?
Julie, it's rather obvious because they didn't want to notice. They took the ostrich approach where they just bury their head in the sand. This is staggering and systemic. This is industrial scale fraud. We're talking about $9 billion just in really a medium-sized state like Minnesota, population-wise. The entire GDP of Somalia is $12 billion. I mean, Julie, consider that. And so there's only one or two things. That either Tim Walz is epically and historically incompetent, or he was in on the cover-up and looked the other way.
I tend to think he was in on the cover-up and looked the other way. You understand what happens when they imported all these Somali voters, right? Because that's what they were importing. They were importing voters. You became one of the most powerful voting blocks in all of Minnesota. Of course, Tim Walz looked the other way. I have no reason to believe that he didn't look the other way. And we're hearing now that whistleblowers were alerting the fraud to Tim Walz over and over and over again, and he continued to look the other way. It's been going on for a long time. Industrial scale level fraud. The GDP of Somalia is $12 billion. The fraud, conservative estimates, $9 billion. $9 billion. That is insane. That is absolutely wild. And it's been going on for a long time. Breitbart has a story. Unearthed surveillance footage from 2015 reportedly exposes how parents have participated in fraud schemes with the Minnesota daycare centers. Videos show parents dropping off their kids at a facility and coming back to retrieve them minutes later. Oh, so they weren't there for very long, were they? No, they'd be back minutes later. Another clip showed parents being handed envelopes containing what is believed to be kickback payments for their involvement in the scheme. And in this unearthed surveillance footage, which you can see on your screen here on the YouTube page and on Rumble, you're watching these parents bring the kids in, bring the kids back out. Local Fox 9 journalist said in an unearthed video reporting the fraud scheme in 2018, in order for the scheme to work, the daycare centers needed to sign up low-income families for that quality families that qualify for child care assistance funding. The video report, which features surveillance footage from a case prosecuted by Hennepin County, goes on to show parents checking kids into a center only to leave with them a few minutes later, Fox 9 reported. Sometimes no children would show up, but either way, the center would bill the state for a full day of child care, the outlet added. This has been going on for a long, long time, and it needs to end. It needs to end. The Trump administration are taking steps to end it. They have frozen all child care payments to Minnesota in light of the Somali fraud, and we thank them for that. We thank the Trump administration for not messing around. We talk a lot about the Trump administration is not doing X or Y on the timeline that we want, but they're doing a lot. And when you think about what this would look like if we had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in office, it's not even in the same ballpark. Nick Shirley's reporting has put him in some hot water. The kid is in danger. While all the mainstream media outlets try to discredit him, try to throw dirt on his name, try to call him a YouTuber. He's just a YouTuber, you know. What does this kid know? He's just a YouTuber. He's having real threats put on his head. Bounties being placed on his head. And it's because his reporting has reached mainstream. It's hit critical mass. Over 120 million views on social media. He was on yesterday with Donald Trump Jr. on the Triggered podcast, and he was explaining why they're so pissed and why they want to kill him.
So the daycares.
Oh, hang on one second. Sorry, I got too many things running in the background. Let me close that. This is Nick Shirley on with Don Jr. yesterday.
Mad. The Somalians are so mad because can you imagine? For years, you're at the dinner table talking with your family about how everything's good. Oh, we don't need to worry because the government and whatnot. I mean, 81% of these people are on welfare, but on top of that, they're collecting millions of dollars for these companies. Tax exempt, by the way, especially the daycares. So can you imagine how mad they are now? Like, that's why they're right now, there's, like, people are so upset. Like, there's, like, bounties on me here in Minnesota because people are so upset as far as the fraud that's being exposed because they know their time's up and they know everyone's just sick and tired of this happening inside their own state and across America.
What have some of those threats been?
Yeah, there was apparently like a bolo that they used. That's the word that some people told me was on me, and I can't reveal too much just because I don't want to reveal. But like, yeah, lots of messages, death threats, obviously on social media, and then. It's just not the most safe thing for me to be moving around freely right now.
I mean, how crazy is that? You have a 23-year-old kid who is exposing millions of dollars in fraud in one day. He exposed $110 million of fraud. And now he can't move around freely. And the mainstream media feels the need to discredit him and disparage him and say he didn't prove anything. If he didn't prove anything, then there would be no death threats, right? The Somalis would laugh it off. If nothing Nick Shirley exposed was real or true or had any merit to it, nobody would care. You understand that, right? There would be no bounties on this kid's head. There would be no death threats, none of that. But he did expose some things. He exposed a lot. He didn't just expose what was going on in Minnesota. He exposed the mainstream media for looking the other way. He exposed the Minnesota government for looking the other way as well. And he's in danger because of it. Make no mistake about it. And one Politico journalist, did you see this? I use the term journalist very, very lightly. Politico reporter by the name Josh Gerstein. Josh Gerstein, he tweeted out yesterday, at some point, the amateur effort to knock on doors of home daycare intersects with robust stand your ground laws. Huh. So is he saying that citizen journalists who are uncovering Somali fraud like Nick Shirley should be shot for knocking on the doors of daycares? These people are pissed. They're pissed. You can hear it in their voices. You can see it. Nick Shirley caught them. He caught them. And they don't know what to do next. The money's drying up. The scam is over. And that is the least of their worries. With DHS, with DOJ, with the FBI surging the area. I'm here for it. Yesterday, though, Nick Shirley, I know he said he can't be moving around freely, but the absolute spine on this kid, he went back to the Quality Learning Center. And yes, I know it's supposed to be quality learning. That's the funniest part about it. They couldn't get their sign right. He went back there, And he confronted the individuals that were outside there. He was wearing a Quality Leering sweatshirt. Those are available for sale if you want to support Nick Shirley and his effort. But the Somalis out front were so mad, going berserk, saying, it's because we're from Africa. You just don't want Muslims here in America. And it's like, no, sir, actually, we just don't want the rampant fraud. We just don't want American taxpayers to be put last any longer and these migrants to be placed on a pedestal above us. Security actually had to step in yesterday outside the Quality Learning Center. But they'll call them names. You don't want Muslims. You're a racist. And it's like this again. It doesn't that doesn't hurt us anymore because you have devalued the term. You have desensationalized the term racist or bigot, and nobody believes you anymore. Scott Jennings was talking about this last night on CNN. He goes, "Listen, the white supremacy attacks." It's not working.
About people, it's a white liberal woman
okay.
dressing in
I'm just saying
you're saying Republicans are singling out Somalis.
Denigrating
The
the
Democrats are the ones who put them at the
practices
center
of a group
she's
for
not
no
religious.
reason other than the reason.
But it is
I don't care about her.
Right.
I'm talking.
She's the one who did
You're
it.
describing the type of dress as the Handmaid's Tale, and you're doing that to denigrate the religion of a group of people.
That's just pointing out.
It wouldn't be acceptable if you did it with another group. So don't do it.
I'm simply pointing out it's Democrats.
That's not okay.
It's Democrats who have put Somali diaspora in Minneapolis at the center of their party and their state's politics. It's a small portion of the population. There is a bunch of fraud that goes on, and even Tim Walz has claimed that any investigation of this fraud is akin to white supremacy,
no,
which is
he
a
hasn't.
ridiculous
No, he has not claimed that.
allegation.
He has not said that.
He has said that.
He has not said that.
I love it. He has not said that. He has never said that. But when they asked Tim Walz, do you plan to hold the Somali community leaders more accountable? Are there plans to hold the Somali community more accountable? His response was, well, I think there's a lot of white people that we should hold accountable for white people crimes. That's not what we're talking about, Tim. So when they say he has not said, they're lying. They're lying through their teeth.
First of all, Tim Walz has encouraged investigations into this,
Oh
but some
my
of the
gosh.
groups that were responsible for the fraud made allegations against the Biden DOJ that they were being targeted for racial reasons, and that was false then, and it's false now. So, but I don't think there's any evidence that Tim Walz was a part of that kind of allegation.
I think they
at
look
all.
the other way.
So,
Yeah, there's no evidence about any of this. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that Tim Walz looked the other way. Stop asking questions, says CNN's Abby Phillips. Yeah. No, I actually will continue asking questions. It's 9:50. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Was Russian President Putin's home targeted by Ukraine? We'll have that story. And a Tennessee lawmaker wants you to be able to grow your own stash. We'll have that and more coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. I got Mason Fleming producing. My very special guest in studio is my oldest son, my 8-year-old Brooks. He's in here. What's up, Brooks? How you doing, man?
Good.
You learning a lot back there with Mason?
Yes.
You were getting a little hotkey heavy. Your hotkey finger is getting a little itchy.
Thanks.
He's learning from the best.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We got a couple people asking questions about you on the Super Text line.
Okay, what are they?
Our friend Dustin wants to know, who is your favorite baseball player?
Oh, easy. Top 3. I got Ken Griffey, Barry Bonds. I want to say Babe Ruth, but he's a Yankees player. But kind of Babe Ruth, half Babe Ruth.
Half Babe Ruth.
And that's all.
That's all. Why do you like Ken Griffey Jr.?
Because he has the cleanest hit in baseball.
The kid knows. The kid knows. All right. You excited for baseball season this year?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what got me in trouble in 2025 with your mom when it came to baseball? Do you recall?
Oh, yeah. He bought me $500 catcher's gear.
I heard about that.
That got me in some hot water in 2025. But then what happened? What did you do with the catcher's gear?
I made the game-winning point to put us into the championship, and then my mom totally regretted everything.
She said, "Okay, it was worth it. It was worth it."
Yep.
I have some news to tell you.
What is it?
Okay. If the pads don't fit this season, you're gonna have to wear them anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, good to know. He's giving me a blank stare. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Oh my.
615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. 615-737-9986. What was the biggest news story of the year for you, Brooks? What do 8-year-olds pay attention to in the news? What was the biggest story?
Kamala.
Kamala was the biggest story? When she wasn't inaugurated?
Yeah.
That's a good answer. It's a good answer. The inauguration of President Trump was a pretty big deal, too. That's how we kicked off the year.
Oh, actually, here's the biggest news story. Charlie Kirk getting the Medal of Courage.
The Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was a big story. That was pretty cool. Do you recall the missing zebra in Murfreesboro?
It was so funny.
May 31st. Do you remember that? May 31st, the zebra got out. And then he ran wild for a week.
Like just a pet zebra running around. Imagine like somebody else just took the zebra and then like started riding him.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I asked your mom if we found the zebra, if we could keep it. You know what she said?
Yes. No.
Maybe
so.
She said no.
Need higher fences.
She said we don't have the room for a zebra. And then you know what else she wanted to do? She wanted to get your little sister a cat for Christmas. I said, if we don't have room for a zebra, what are we doing with the cat?
Yeah, we can put the cat in the basement and then just put the zebra in its cage.
There you go. That's what we should have done.
Smart thinking right here.
Yeah, we used to be a proper country, you know? Yeah. On the way, we'll talk a little bit more about Minnesota. Scott Pressler was on the ground. And when Scott Pressler's on the ground, people take notice. Scott Pressler wasn't talking about daycares. He wasn't talking about the healthcare services or the non-emergency medical transport. He was talking about voting and the fraud that could have been committed by the Somalis via the vote. We'll talk about that on the way as well. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 10 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We will get you a New Year's Day forecast. Well, a New Year's Eve forecast as well. That's all coming up. Russia now says it has evidence of an attempted attack literally close to home for Russia's leader. ABC's senior correspondent Selena Wang has more.
Vladimir Putin is throwing a wrench into talks, claiming that Ukraine attacked one of his residences. Zelensky denies it, saying Putin's claim is an effort to sabotage peace talks.
All of this comes after Volodymyr Zelensky was in Florida over the weekend for talks with President Trump, who says the two sides he believes are closer than ever to a possible peace deal. Back here in Tennessee, a lawmaker wants to let you grow your own weed at home. Memphis Democratic State Representative Antonio Parkinson's Freedom to Farm Act would allow one adult per household to grow up to 15 plants for personal use.
I expect to push back. I do, however, look at the timing of things also. My colleagues tend to follow the lead of President Trump. And with him lowering the class for marijuana, then maybe they'll follow his lead and be on board with this.
He also says personal cultivation would be permitted with strict rules and certified cards, but he says selling marijuana would still be illegal.
If you are caught violating any of the rules, anytime, you will be, number one, prosecuted criminally. Number two, you will never ever be able to take advantage of this opportunity again.
Parkinson also says he plans to introduce the bill in the upcoming legislative session. Flu cases continue to skyrocket nationwide, with more than a dozen states now reporting a very high number of illnesses and more expected to follow. ABC's medical contributor, Dr. Darren Sutton, outlines the trends that experts have noticed with these recent cases.
The bulk of these cases, nearly 90%, is associated with that variant, subclade K, which is a variant of the flu. It's flu A typically when you get tested for it. Unfortunately, it seems as though that's what's driving these numbers. Nearly half of these cases are in children. The majority of the patients that we're treating in the emergency room are children suffering from the symptoms of this infection.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Jay Harper's in the newsroom. Mason Fleming is producing. I got a co-host in studio. My oldest son, my 8-year-old Brooks, is in here. We're putting him to work. He said, I got a couple days off school. I said, well, you're going to work. He said, how much am I going to get paid? I said, you're going to get paid in knowledge.
100.
We're not paying you.
Yeah.
Well, you did bribe him with something.
We did. Well, okay. What are we doing after the show?
In and out.
In and out. Dude, you know yesterday, so every day I get in and I open the text line. And we're doing the cross with Brian yesterday. And Brian started, so the first text I see is at 8:30. And it was a texter said, wow, we made it through the whole morning show without somebody talking about In-N-Out. This is a new record, right? Then I get on for the cross with Brian, and we started talking about In-N-Out. The same person texted back and said, I spoke too soon. I spoke way too soon.
If Chris is in the building, In-N-Out will probably be mentioned during the show.
Oh, my gosh. Same with Mandis.
I mean, for sure. I can't blame you.
We love In-N-Out. Murphy went to In-N-Out.
Yeah, I saw.
He said he was
Sneaky
very
little
impressed.
devil.
We actually talked a lot about that in our year-in review episode of Mostly Peaceful, which is up and running now on the YouTube page.
We talked about that. Talked about the zebra getting out. Talked about the inauguration. You covered everything big that happened this year.
Everything big. It was a wild year.
Yeah.
Roller
So
coaster
much
of a year. Starting with the inauguration, the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and everything in between.
Yeah.
It's one of those mixed bags years where I don't anticipate seeing people one way or the other. It's just going to be both. Like either it was great for you or you can't wait for it to be over. There's no in between in 2025.
Oh, absolutely. And it's an hour and 41 minutes for how many things we had in there.
And we didn't even cover it all.
No, we're still missing I think a good third of what happened this year.
Yeah.
So
but we tried to go month by month.
Yeah, but I think it was a good one. I think it's one of the best that we've done. You got Murphy on there as well. Just I know we mentioned that he's on there. He's on there and he gives his opinions. So it's a fun one.
And who does he yell at more? Is it me or is it Mandis? You'll have to watch the podcast to find out. It's on the YouTube page.
And right in the comments, who
won? Brooks may have watched it already.
That's a little cheating, but it's okay.
Don't give the spoil. You got to say spoiler alert before you tell people what's coming.
Spoiler alert, Mandis.
Okay, there you go. Dan is back next week, right?
Yeah.
Dan Mandis is the only guy I know that he takes time off from work, and in his time off, he does more work. He's been doing Red Eye Radio all week.
Yeah, I came into work the day after Christmas, and I heard him working that morning, and I was like, hold on, is this a recording? And I texted him, and he was like, no, I'm in the studio right now. And I went, cool.
Guy's a beast.
Surprised he doesn't sound like Joe Biden by this point.
Yeah.
Just mumbling through the morning.
Just mumbling through, shaking hands with the dead people.
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it, Shanga Kawawa.
To be fair,
we
can't say that he didn't sound like that because I wasn't up listening.
That's also fair. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he's normally better spoken with his words than former...
He usually speaks good.
Autopen Joe Biden, but
people don't think it be like it is, but it do. We're talking about Minnesota and Minnesota lawmaker who is also running for governor, Kristen Robbins. She has confirmed that there are credible whistleblowers coming forward with receipts that not just prove that Tim Walz knew about it, but that they also threatened those whistleblowers with accusations of racism and Islamophobia if they kept pushing and exposed the Somali fraud. This is Rep. Kristen Robbins out of Minnesota.
Absolutely. We have dozens of credible whistleblower reports saying that exact same thing, that people were told not to say anything because they'd be called racist or Islamophobic or it would hurt the state. And so people tried to come forward but were shut down. And that protection of a particular community is what really allowed this fraud to flourish in Minnesota for years. But we have said very publicly that, yes, the bulk of the fraud we've discovered so far is in the Somali community, but some of our best whistleblowers are also in the Somali community. And it's really important that we get to the truth of this issue. And so by failing to call it out, we allowed it to continue, and that has hurt Minnesotans tremendously.
She's absolutely right. It has hurt Minnesotans. It's hurting the federal government as well. And I love how she says the whistleblowers are actually from the Somali community. So it's not racist and bigoted. We're not targeting a community. It's members of that community saying this community is engaged in rampant fraud. And you know what? When they call you racist, when they call you Islamophobic, just make sure everybody knows that the guy from Nick Shirley's video, the legendary David, was outside the Quality Leering Center yesterday, and he was letting people take pictures of all the data he had on all the daycares, all the money being received for the kids that aren't there. And he said, if anyone can disprove my information about the Somali fraud, I will give you $100,000. Just know that the challenge is out there. Nobody's going to come up and take this challenge. Nobody's going to be able to disprove the information because it's rock solid. But he says, by all means, if you think I'm lying, take a picture of my information and disprove me, and I'll give you $100K.
Anyway, no, don't call any parents. Anybody want to take me up? You $100,000 if you $100,000. You can disprove my information. Okay, so give me a copy of what you have, and I can disprove my information. 100,000. Give it here. 100,000.
And he's holding up his spreadsheet. He's holding up the spreadsheet, and he's letting everybody look at it, and then he lets people start taking pictures of his spreadsheet. He's like, make sure you get every page. And in the video, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you'll see guys with their cell phones taking pictures. And David goes, did you get that one? Let me turn the page. Take another picture. Make sure you have this information down. If you can disprove any of the information that I have, I'll give you $100,000. You think anybody's gonna be able to do that?
I will.
You will. I'll do it. But you have to do it truthfully. I don't think anybody's going to be able to disprove what this guy has to say. And I don't think he'd put $100,000 up if he thought that he was going to be disproven. That's a bad bet. But if anybody wants to take him up on it, maybe you don't believe in the Somali fraud if you're listening. Okay, well, you could make $100K real quick. Just disprove the legendary David. Any piece of his information, he says. If you can disprove any piece of the information, you get $100,000K. We'll be waiting for that debunking. It's never going to happen. You know that, right? We all know that. Scott Pressler was on the ground in Minnesota, and Scott Pressler is ringing more alarms, saying that he potentially uncovered massive voter fraud in Minnesota because they got a weird rule in Minnesota. In Minnesota, don't you know, this rule allows one person to vouch for migrants, up to 8, so they can vote as part of same-day registration. Here's the catch. You need no proof of residency or voter ID required. And in 2024, they had 296,000 same-day voters registered. Scott Pressler was talking about this yesterday on Fox News. This is really what they're afraid of, right? The money is one thing, but once you get down to the nitty-gritty of the corruption and how they're using it to sway elections, this is when it gets real dangerous and real dicey real fast.
Staggering. Well, outside the margin of victory. Joining us now, conservative activist and early vote action founder, Scott Pressler. Scott, welcome to the program. You're on the ground a lot, and you love registering people to vote. But this is concerning. Not only are they doing it same day with an ID, without an ID, but they allow other people to vouch for other voters.
Yes, I want to be very clear. This is according to Minnesota state law that with vouching, no proof of residency is required. No photo or voter ID is required. If we were all living in the same neighborhood, I could vouch for you, Lawrence, and say, I know Lawrence, I know Will Kane, and just simply my vouching and you guys signing an oath declaring that you are following the law, you will be handed 2 ballots and you will be able to vote.
So all you got to do is say, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. This is, again, this is being exposed in Minnesota, but I have a feeling this is happening in far more cities than we want to admit. And as this gets exposed, the ripple effect is going to be wild. And the people in Minnesota, the leadership, the people in power, they say this is fine. Because why? It helps them keep the power.
And if I have 6 other friends that I vouch for, my one registered voter in Minnesota could get 8 voters. Now, what's even more concerning, and you just said this earlier, is that if I were an employee at a residential facility, according to state law, I could vouch for unlimited voters by simply showing proof of being an employee at the residential facility. And so thanks to Nick Shirley, we are now exposing potential fraud when it comes to our election system.
It's insane. And shout out to Scott Pressler for being on the ground and exposing this. I do think a lot more people are going to take heed when Scott Pressler is talking about that, investigating potential major voter fraud in Minnesota. And he actually went on to say that he's filed an email with the Minnesota Secretary of State regarding this potential massive voter fraud in Minnesota. He said that yesterday, again, on the Will Cain Show on Fox News.
500,000 voters, or nearly 19% of all voters in Minnesota, registered on Election Day. What? And did you know that former Senator Al Franken was elected by 312 votes? So I'm not alleging anything on the program, but what I am saying is that this vouching system, which clearly opens the door for potential fraud, could swing statewide elections. And when you find out that Al Franken was the 60th vote for the Affordable Care Act, these voter fraud insecurities could open the door to very real consequences. And I have breaking news that I have filed an email with the Minnesota Secretary of State, and I have submitted a data practices request to get the data of registrants, of people that vouched, and how many of those 500,000 voters actually came about because of vouching. And that's breaking news.
It is unbelievable.
Unbelievable is an understatement. Scott Pressler breaking news, investigating potential major voter fraud in Minnesota. It's just potential now. It's just alleged. We don't have receipts. But if you follow the breadcrumbs, you can understand how he got there. And it's worth a full-scale investigation. Caroline Leavitt was talking about what's happening in Minnesota, and she reiterated the stance of the administration. We are not afraid of denaturalization. If you are an American citizen who has allegiance to Somalia and you're defrauding the American taxpayers, you could be on your way home.
Is conducting door-to-door investigations on the ground at potential fraud sites. And they're also, of course, conducting continued deportations of illegal aliens in Minnesota's communities. We're also not afraid to use denaturalization. That's a tool at the president and the Secretary of State's disposal, and it's one this administration has previously used before. I know the
Well, let's hope that we see a lot of that. One thing Caroline Leavitt did say, again, this was early yesterday morning, she said, early this morning, she said that the results of Nick Shirley's reporting will be people in handcuffs. And I sure hope she's right, and I hope it's not just low-level offenders. I hope it's people in leadership and power positions. But she said, get ready. Silver bracelets will be broken out.
Governor Walz is completely incompetent. He always has been, and President Trump has long called him out for his incompetence and his poor leadership in the great state of Minnesota. I want to commend Nick Shirley for his incredible video in Real Journalism that went viral this past week. He epitomizes what new media looks like, and that's exactly why we at the White House, under President Trump's direction, have embraced new media journalists like Nick Shirley. We've welcomed them in to the White House press pool. We invited Nick Shirley to brief the President of the United States at an Antifa roundtable earlier this year. And this fraud in Governor Walz's state in Minnesota is something the Trump administration has been working on since day one. And since Nick Shirley's journalism really brought this issue further to light, we have surged resources applies across the board to the state. So I want your audience to understand this is a top priority for the administration. The Department of Justice, as we speak, is continuing to execute search warrants and subpoenas. People will be in handcuffs as a result of the fraud that Governor Walz has allowed to occur for many, many years. The Department of Homeland Security is conducting door-to-door investigations on the ground at potential fraud sites, and they are also, of course, conducting continued deportations of illegal aliens in Minnesota's communities. We're also not afraid to use denaturalization.
We're looking forward to where these investigations go. And when Caroline Leavitt says people will be in handcuffs, I'm encouraged. But again, the big question is who, right? If you're just talking about the ground level fraudsters, that's not going to cut it. It's just not. We need some names being charged. That's what we're looking for here. Where do these investigations go next? Which states get looked at next? Caroline Leavitt shed some light on that. We'll bring you that audio on the way. 1022 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the Trump administration halting child care payments to Minnesota. Also, the Postal Service, they're making some interesting changes to postmarks. We'll have details as to what that's all about. That, again, coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Mason Fleming producing. We got young Brooks Hand back there working as well. Hopefully you got him working hard, Mason.
Yeah, working real hard on playing the classic Metroid on my Nintendo Switch.
The hard work didn't last long, did it?
No, he got bored of the hotkeys, and so we moved on to something a little more entertaining.
Hey, at least it's a base game like Metroid.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it could have been Call of Duty.
I know. We all know that Brooks only wanted to come into work today because I promised to take him to In-N-Out after.
Yeah, a good burger is hard to turn down.
Partly. A lot of people have been texting about the In-N-Out. I got a text here from 3325. He said, I went to In-N-Out. Wasn't worth a damn. Five Guys walks all over it.
Yeah, but look at Five Guys price.
Bro, I did you read the text? I literally responded to him. I said, you also need to take out a second mortgage for Five Guys.
Yeah, I have to lose my arm and my leg to get 2 patties on my burger at Five Guys.
Yeah, and then I got another text, 2968, said he just went through the drive-thru at In-N-Out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I said, which one? He said, Antioch.
Dude, in the one in Lebanon, I think I told you the other day, because of the storm, I was in and out and ate. Took my friend for the first time. He was like, this isn't a long wait at all. And I was like, yeah, this is unheard of right now.
Yeah, it's wild.
I think we're getting to normal times right now.
I'm already getting hungry.
Yeah, the more we talk about it, I'm like, I could get in and out on the way home.
Well, Chris, I've never been to In-N-Out. I'm guessing the one in Murfreesboro, that is open, right? The one
the one in the borough is open.
On Medical Center Parkway.
I haven't been to that one yet.
Yep.
The lines seem a little bit wild. We've been hitting the Antioch one on the way home.
All right. Well, see, again, I've never been to one. What would you recommend that I get for someone that's never been to one?
You're going to need a double animal a double burger animal style. Is it double or is it
double means double burger, double cheese.
Yep. So double animal style. That gives you like the Big Mac style sauce.
Yeah, it's got that with the onions and then tomato, lettuce, and pickle on that is what animal style is.
And then get a fry, and then get a secondary fry, animal style.
Okay, what does that whole animal style thing mean?
Secret sauce, grilled onions, and cheese. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's great. It's a nice little secret sauce.
I'll take your word.
It's awesome. Somebody said, what time does In-N-Out open? They're open now. They open at 10 a.m., right? I think they open at 10 a.m. Trevor said, In-N-Out, Whataburger is overrated, 100%.
Whataburger has like 3 good items, and they're not great items. So I'd rather go to a place where I know I'm going to get good food.
Whataburger also, I think that the way In-N-Out did it, they flew in all of these California and West Coast employees, Phoenix employees, so that way you didn't skip any bit of quality at the In-N-Out. The one thing that Whataburger did is they just hired a bunch of Tennesseans, which I'm grateful for, but you didn't get the same Whataburger experience.
Yeah, we didn't want to bring people from Texas up here anyways.
No, absolutely.
They could stay there.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, so we got a lot to cover. Only a little bit of time. We're closing out 2025 on the Chris Hand Show. Caroline Levitt, where are the fraud investigations going to go next? Well, spoiler alert, California and New York.
What other states are you going to be looking at shortly?
Oh, yes. Right now, Minnesota is at the top of the list, but we know there has been massive fraud in blue states across this country. Look at California, look at New York. These states will all be under investigation and consideration as far as this administration is concerned.
And I thank you for that. What I would say, though, is that we should also focus on places like Ohio and Columbus, and we should absolutely do Ohio next. Columbus has a massive Somali population. People are ringing the alarm bells online saying that they have the same kind of child care fraud. And then if we do Ohio next, we won't get the same kind of pushback that we're only going after blue states because they have a Republican, I'm using air quotes, Republican Governor Mike DeWine. I would say go for Ohio before you go for New York and California. New York and California is going to be some low-hanging fruit. It'll be there when you get to it. 10:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
31 minutes now past 10 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day forecasts are on the way. The Trump administration cracking down on Minnesota following allegations of financial fraud from some of the state's daycare operations. ABC's Jay O'Brien has more.
The Department of Health and Human Services moving to block $185 million in taxpayer funds for child care programs. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz firing back, accusing President Trump of politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans. Adding, we've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along.
If you are one of those who kind of waits to the last minute to drop their bills or holiday cards in the mail, you may want to rethink that strategy with the newest post office rules. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze explains.
The U.S. Postal Service is adjusting the rules around when letters are postmarked. So typically, when you send an envelope, the postmark date is stamped as the same date you drop it in your mailbox or at the post office. Well, now that postmark date could be several days later. The Postal Service says this is part of a modernization process, and as it evolves around the reality that there are more packages in the mail than there are letters.
The FBI back here in Nashville has released more than 200 pages of documents on the Covenant School shooting.
Fox 17 says these new documents reveal chilling details about the Covenant School shooter's motives. Notes that show the school was chosen for being private, Christian, and, quote, not well known, with the shooter writing, quote, hate religion. The files also mention other mass shootings and include comments about gun control, calling the Second Amendment, quote, on life support, and then blasting, quote, Biden's horrible gun plans. The tragedy claims 6 lives, 3 of them children. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
That is the latest news. Weather's up next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at USS United Structural Systems. Got some questions to ask you. Are your floors sagging? Do you have cracks showing up in the drywall? Doors that won't shut right? These aren't beauty blemishes on your home. This is your home crying out to you, saying, please, there's something very serious going on beneath your feet. And in 2026, you need to get it fixed. You see, these problems are warnings that your foundation could be weakening. And a solid foundation is going to be the backbone of a strong home. When it weakens, it's not going to fix itself. It's only going to get worse with time. This is why I trust the guys at United Structural System. They've been doing this stuff beneath your house since 1994. Keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. USS uses American-made adjustable steel supports built to last and backed with transferable warranties. From I-beams to custom crawl space repairs, these guys are going to fix it right the first time. So when it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road anymore in 2026. Call USS, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com. It's 10:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. YouTube and Rumble are the main ones. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. If you're listening on a digital platform, any of them, if you're watching on a digital platform, they all have a share button. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Hit that share button. Send the show to your friends. We appreciate you doing so. We've been talking a lot about Somalia, don't you know? Somali soda. Nick Shirley has been putting up one hell of a fight, bringing a lot of attention.
Just to remind your audience,
bringing a lot of attention to what's going on in Minnesota. Yesterday, he was interviewed on CNN. Did you see his interview on CNN? He absolutely wrecked them.
Done enough. I mean, they would say, look, these fraud cases have been going on, but they've already done like 80 indictments. The cases have been going on, for years.
And why did I show up one day in Minnesota and go to all these daycares, no children? They're receiving millions of dollars. We uncovered nearly $110 million in fraud in one day.
How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening. And then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims.
Hi, my name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Oh, let's take their word for it. What would you tell these daycare providers, young Brooks? What if you had an opportunity to talk to them? What would you say?
Get out of town.
That would be a good thing to say. We called all the daycare providers, and none of them answered, except for one who assured us they were a legitimate business.
Have you seen the videos, purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids inside?
Minnesota Republicans say despite the new focus from the Trump administration, they have been sounding the alarm on fraud for years.
I just love how they're doing their due diligence to debunk Nick Shirley. They're not doing any due diligence to find out if there's fraud. They're doing it to debunk Nick. If that CNN reporter could come up with some facts, David, the legendary David from the video, will give her $100,000, $100,000 if you're up for it. They'll never clean it up. They'll never be able to prove that he's lying. It's just not going to happen. And shout out to Nick Shirley for just, again, having the spine to show up again outside the Quality Leering Center yesterday and to continue to push back on this narrative that he's lying, that he's making things up. We've seen CNN for days now continue to crash out, and the crash out continued last night on the Abby Phillip show. Abby Phillip has been beside herself with the reporting from Nick Shirley, and she can't even stand it. Listen to her show last night.
So he goes to the facilities. Some of them had already been closed for some time. Minnesota officials say that each of the facilities that he visited had been visited at least once in the last 6 months, and so far they found no evidence of fraud. So shouldn't he have to provide actual evidence of fraud before just walking up to a building and saying fraud is happening here?
Shouldn't he have to provide actual evidence? Well, they have provided evidence. In fact, again, the legendary David said if you can debunk the evidence, he'll give you $100,000. And he went to those daycare providers to see what was going on. Can I enroll my son? No, no one's here. There's no manager on duty. No. Doors get slammed in his face. No kids. No windows. Dilapidated buildings. No. That's not evidence. You can't call that evidence. This is what investigative journalism looks like. I'm sorry that CNN has a problem recognizing it for what it is. But the crash out continues. This is the same Abby Phillip show, the same clip. She's got a guest on her panel, Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross, oh my goodness, the disrespect that you're about to hear in this clip. And I'm going to do my best to try and get through the whole clip without pausing it and crashing out myself. But I'm going to have a hard time because she attacks Nick, then she attacks Christians, then she attacks Donald Trump. All because Tiffany Cross is more mad about a citizen journalist investigating the fraud than she is about the actual fraud being committed. You can't make this stuff up.
Who
is he? Like, who gave this guy license to go around and say, I couldn't get in the daycare centers, the doors were locked? Like, nobody should be able to walk into a daycare center because the doors are locked.
Okay, I knew I wasn't going to be able to make it through that clip. I knew it. If you're a parent and you want to enroll your child in a daycare center, come on, there's got to be some parents that have done this. You find a daycare center near your place of business and you stop by. You stop by unannounced to see what's really going on there. Are the kids happy? Are the kids being taken care of? Is this place clean? Can I have a tour? Where do the kids nap? Where do the kids eat? What does your playground look like? What are your security protocols? This is what any concerned parent would do. But because Nick Shirley did it, who is this guy? Who is this YouTuber? The disrespect.
These random vigilante justice, something that people in this country know a lot about. These random vigilante justice seekers who...
He's a random vigilante justice seeker. A rando vigilante justice. You know what we wouldn't need vigilante justice seekers if we had elected officials doing the damn work that they need to be doing.
Ordain themselves like some sort of law enforcement expert. Like, he's a random YouTuber. And I just find it laughable.
He's a random YouTuber. He's a random YouTuber. The disrespect. The attempts to discredit. He's not a random YouTuber. He's been doing this for years, actually. This kid was invited to the Antifa round table with President Trump. Like, he's known in the industry. He does good work. He's not a random YouTuber, despite CNN's pathetic attempt to discredit him.
That the party of the self-proclaimed pro-life people are celebrating cutting off funding to children. The white evangelical crowd who purports to uphold these Christian values are celebrating targeting communities because of their ethnicity and cutting off care to children.
So now we're attacking Christians. Miss me with that. I have a hard time believing Tiffany Cross is a Christian. Anytime they attack Christians, they just use it as a weapon against us. Yes, we do believe that if fraud is being committed, we need to put our own citizens first. The health of a man is tied to the health of a nation. Yes, there's a Christian principle. And we're not having a healthy nation if we're sending all of our tax dollars out the door and then they're being rerouted via proxy to terror networks like Al-Shabaab. It's not going to work. But yes, but please, bludgeon us for being Christians. How dare we? How dare we?
Utterly ridiculous. And I have to say, only a deplorable human being cannot decisively say it is wrong to target this community. We all heard what Donald Trump said from the White House. To pretend that this is some sort of opinion versus this opinion. No, we hear this right now. And so we have to call these things out with outrage, with righteous indignation that this type of thing, one day it's the Somali community, the next day it's another community. What is hard about saying this is awful? What is hard about saying we should all care about children? And
what is so hard about this? Today it's the Somali community. Tomorrow, who will it be? This is what they do. This is what they do. First, they came for the Somalis, and I said nothing. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to stand up. It's insane. Just to recap, the disrespect against Nick Shirley, the attempts to discredit, the attacking Nick, the attacking Christians, and then attacking Trump. All because she's more mad about citizen journalists uncovering fraud than she is about the fraud being committed. And it gets even worse. Maria Cardona, same panel, same segment. She jumps in. Maria Cardona jumps in and says, you know what's going on? Everybody's racist.
It's not just racist and xenophobic. It's actually dangerous because what Donald Trump is doing in targeting this community, it's putting American citizens in danger.
Oh, my goodness. Coming from the network that is called ICE, the Gestapo, and Nazis, and had actual bullets thrown at them. Coming from the network that called Trump Nazi, dictator, tyrannical, and got a bullet thrown at him. Coming from the network who called Charlie Kirk an evil, racist, vile bigot, and then got him murdered. Yeah, that missed me. No, conservatives are not going to target Somalis with violence. It's just not going to happen. No matter how much you wish it into existence, it's never going to happen because conservatives are not violent. But she doesn't want to go that route. She wants to fearmonger. She wants to play into the low IQ of the CNN audience.
Because it is putting a target on their back. But there's something else that I think is really disturbing, to your point about who this YouTuber is, and that all of a sudden, because he made this video that has gone viral, now DHS and FBI are putting resources into this community all of a sudden.
Well, they're not. I mean, because they actually had already. Well, that's the thing. I mean, those videos that we were showing, those are
but they're
performative.
pretending like
They're
they
walking
just
into
found this out.
They're walking into a deli and asking questions and then saying, "Have a nice day."
So they didn't just walk into a deli. There was a child care center registered at that address. It was a multi-business location. They walk in, and they said that they were looking into the daycare. They weren't just walking into a deli. Yes, the FBI and DHS has been investigating this. Caroline Leavitt said since day one. But Nick Shirley put this under a magnifying glass and forced the administration to act. If Nick Shirley's report doesn't come out, do you think that we're getting the halt to taxpayer money flowing out the door without verification? No, of course not. Nick Shirley is an American hero for what he's doing, and he's putting his life on the line doing it. But the crash out from CNN is just next level. How dare this guy do the job we neglected to do? How dare this young 23-year-old man pick up what the mainstream media is supposed to be doing and do it better? How dare he? They're not mad that Nick Shirley exposed the fraud. They're mad that Nick Shirley exposed them for not doing their job. And when CNN is calling the places of business to confirm, it's such a joke. Hi, I'm with CNN. Have you seen this video? Isn't it awful? Oh, you're a legitimate business. I know you are. You're doing a great job. Keep standing up to those racists and the evil Trump administration. CNN stopped being a legitimate news network years ago, and everybody knows it. And when these reporters and these analysts and these pundits get on TV and they just attempt to slander Nick Shirley, they're not mad that Nick did the investigative journalism. They're mad that he exposed them. It's 10:50. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. Christmas come and gone. I know. I can't believe it's already over. I'm sad. I'm a little sad. But you know what makes me happy? The Christmas sale still going on and going strong at the Glock Store. At least through the weekend. Don't let the Christmas cash burn a hole in your pocket when the Glock Store bargains are still available. And if that new firearm you were hoping for actually did show up under the tree, first of all, dang, you're lucky. Second of all, may I suggest a New Year's resolution of getting trained the right way, the Shoot 270 way, only at the Glock Store. It's one-on-one training in a private shooting room with professional instructors. Each room has multiple full-size targets that can be moved around, varying distances and angles. No two sessions are going to be the same, and you can train for real-life situations, learning how to draw and fire from your concealed carry holsters. Basically, every time you finish that 270 training session, you're going to leave a safer, more accurate, more competent gun owner, whether it's your first session or your 50th. Take it from me. That's the way I train. Go to shoot270.com. Book a session today. That's shoot270.com. Only at the Glock Store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Belmont area, we've got an injury crash going to be 440 eastbound at Hillsborough Pike. And I've got a little bit of good news if you're going to be one of the hundreds of thousands of people out there celebrating the new year here in Nashville. That's coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
What do you think the average cost is of celebrating New Year's Eve out there in Nashville? $1,000 a head?
Yeah, I mean, if you are one of those with a hotel, and that if you're staying downtown, I would say at least.
Oh, if you're getting a hotel,
$1,000
up that. That'd be like $1,500 if you're getting a hotel.
Right.
Because those hotel rooms are insane right now.
Yeah.
Are there any
I would say around $2,000.
I can't do that.
I wouldn't do it, even if I could.
What? It's like I understand some people really do enjoy it.
Sure.
But that sounds like one of the most awful things in the world to me. It just
especially whenever I've got a nice warm couch.
Yeah,
at home.
And then you gotta be squished with all them people.
Yeah, I mean, back in 30 years ago, you betcha. I was up for everything, man. I was like running on gasoline.
Yeah, I mean, so when I started in radio, I was 17, right?
Yeah.
So by the time I started hosting parties and doing all that stuff, I was 19.
Right.
So like I was in the bars on New Year's Eve before I was supposed to be.
Yes.
And I didn't have to wait in any lines.
Right.
And I think that it really jaded me. And I don't, why on earth would I want to spend money to wait in line to spend money?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't, I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
I'll watch on TV.
I'll watch it on TV. Honestly, though, dude, I guarantee you I'm asleep by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen to me, too.
I guarantee you I'm asleep by 10 o'clock.
I'm probably doing the exact same thing. You know what we do, low-key? Brooks, put on your earmuffs. Brooks is back there with Mason.
Yeah,
my
I saw
oldest
little
son.
Brooks.
He's the kid's a beast. But this is what we've done for years. We'll pull up a ball drop in Europe. Or a ball drop from years past.
Yeah.
We'll play that around 8 o'clock on YouTube. We'll celebrate. We'll crack some sparkling apple cider. We'll do the toast and be like, "You guys did it. You stayed up till the new year."
It's New Year somewhere.
Man, you got to do it. You got to do it. That's just like the ultimate parenting hack. I don't know how you guys did it before YouTube. I know how my parents did. They just said, "Go to bed.
Yeah.
Just go to bed now."
Yeah. You know what? My parents, we did stay up until midnight. I mean, we'd just hang out.
We got to stay up till 12.
Well, we certainly will, buddy. We'll stay up until the ball drops, I promise.
We always do one thing where it's like we have a bowl of challenges, and so every hour we pick up one. So like it could be like 9 o'clock, and we have to run around our house 3 times.
Yes, Virginia does that. Virginia makes challenges for the kids. Every hour we're doing a challenge.
That's fun.
So last year, what was it last year? Was it running around the house?
Last year, it was the workout, and then it was cider, and then it was can you sleep downstairs?
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the challenges. Can you fall asleep on the couch downstairs?
Now, Brooks, let me ask you. Did you have to run around the house in your socks?
I did
it. Brooks is a beast.
No fear. No fear.
Brooks, if me and Brooks are sitting there watching TV for too long, he looks at me and he says, "Dad, if we sit here any longer, we're just going to get fat." Right? Don't you say that to me?
Yeah.
You gotta go work out. Brooks has like an 8-pack. The kid's a beast.
I've got like a 12-pack, but it's not what you think.
New Year's resolutions, right?
It doesn't look like it was very well packaged.
We'll talk about this and more on the way. It is the last show of 2025. Was the year good for you? Was the year Was it? Would you put it in the great category? Would you put it in the meh category? What were the biggest events of 2025? We'll talk about that and more on the way. A lot to get to. It's 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. You're going to want to dress warmly if you're going to ring in the new year at Nashville's New Year's Eve Big Bash at Bicentennial Mall. Pretty much if you're going to be anywhere outside. Temperature is going to be in the mid to upper 30s until midnight. So we're going to stay above freezing in Nashville into the new year. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Yeah, organizers say safety's the top priority. They've got 500 security personnel, fencing, metal detectors in place. Going to be 6 entrances for easy access, and rideshare or shuttle services are recommended. Meanwhile, they've been partying all night in places around the world. That's Taipei, Taiwan, where crowds gathered for performances and a countdown amidst the city's iconic skyline. And then not far from there,
here is your 2026 Beijing New Year Countdown.
Beijing. Meanwhile, ABC's Maggie Rulli in London.
In Sydney, the city has scaled back this year after the deadly shooting at Bondi Beach just a few weeks ago. Officials canceling celebrations on the beach, instead holding a moment of silence. In Paris, a major music show on the Champs-Élysées has been canceled, also over security concerns. And Tokyo has also canceled its countdown at Shibuya Station over fears of attacks and deadly stampedes.
Dozens of people have already been convicted in Minnesota for stealing millions in taxpayer money meant to help those in need. And now a viral video is prompting action from the White House. An independent journalist released this video claiming some daycares receiving public funds were not actually providing any child care. Here's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio.
The Trump administration now says it's pausing all federal child care payments to Minnesota amid allegations of widespread fraud in the state. The move blocks $185 million in funding to daycares provided by Health and Human Services. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz firing back, accusing President Trump of, quote, politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans, adding, we've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along.
The first known U.S. attack on Venezuelan soil has escalated tensions in the Caribbean. The attack, reportedly a drone strike carried out by the CIA, which has been operating covertly in Venezuela. President Trump saying the strike destroyed a dock where drugs were being loaded onto boats. Here's ABC News contributor, former State Department official Steve Ganyard.
The Venezuelan economy depends on 2 things, oil and cocaine. And so the president has already set up a quarantine of oil coming out of Venezuela. So he's just being consistent here and going after the cocaine that also supports much of the Venezuelan economy.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us. We're live on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Super Talk TV is up and running. All the digital platforms have a like button. Hit that. Most of them have a subscribe button. Hit that. And all of them have a share button. Do that as well. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. It's been a year, man. It has been a year, 2025, coming to a close. What do we got? About 13 hours left. What are you going to do with your last 13 hours of 2025, Mason? Are you gonna make the most of it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to make the most of it and work some more.
There you go. Mason,
what I do.
He's doing what he loves.
Well,
You
hold
can't
on.
you can't slow him down.
Let's pull the brakes on that.
You know,
part.
I said to Mason, just a couple weeks ago, I said, dude, do you need anything for Christmas? And he said, just more work.
More work.
I said, we can make that happen.
You sure about that?
No, I'm not sure about that.
He said, more work, please. All right, deal.
More work, please.
Well, it's been a wild year. Biggest event of 2025 that you can recall. 615-737-9986. Would love to get you guys in on this. Join the conversation. The biggest events of 2025. Maybe it's an obvious one. Maybe it stands out. It's the inauguration. It's the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Maybe it's a little bit more forgotten. I was doing some digging last night. We actually did a whole YouTube episode on this for the Mostly Peaceful podcast with myself, Dan Mandis, and Matt Murphy, our year in review. And that's up on the YouTube page. You can watch it at your leisure. A lot of people saying a lot of nice things, and then there were some others saying very mean things. But whichever side you land on, we want you to watch it and check it out. But some of this might be a bit of a repeat. But one of my favorite things from 2025 were the No Kings protests. I don't know if we would have got through the summer if it wasn't for the No Kings protests. Remember Donald Trump? He said, I'm not a king. They're calling me a king. I'm not a king. I work my butt off.
Over the weekend, the No Kings protests.
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
The people were whacked out. They were paid for by Soros. It wasn't representative of our country. The No Kings protests were awfully weird, weren't they? It was a crowd full of liberal boomers doing weird things like dancing and yelling about kings.
Besides San Francisco,
I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Congratulations, liberals. The protests were successful. We still do not have a king. But the best moment from the No Kings protests had to be the conversation online. And the best meme of the year. Do you think that this was the meme of the year during the No Kings protests? If you're watching on the stream, you'll see the meme in real time. But it was Donald Trump flying in a jet, dropping, let's say mud, dropping mud on the protesters. It was glorious. Trump in that jet, crown on his head, dropping and plopping mud on everybody. Harry Sisson was there. And it was all over the people in Times Square, and it was glorious. It was glorious. The best part about it, though, wasn't even the meme. It was the reaction from the left. Do you remember the reaction from the left?
Weren't too happy.
Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber. Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
Do you remember him and Nicole Wallace on MSNBC before they transitioned to MS Now?
Yeah.
He was so upset about the No Kings protests. He couldn't believe it.
And by the way, do we really have to treat people like that? You know, the meme that he had where he was flying with the crown and the, spewing or excrement all over the people down below.
The country, America.
Yeah, he tried it. Would Lincoln have done that?
I like to think Lincoln would have. I don't know. It's like, I feel like, you remember Talladega Nights? I like to picture my baby Jesus in the front of a Lynyrd Skynyrd rock concert. I like to picture my Lincoln crap posting on the internet. I do. I think Lincoln would drop some memes. I think Lincoln would bring the fire. I do.
I don't think Nixon would have done that.
Nixon wouldn't have done it. Reagan wouldn't have done it. Bush wouldn't have done it. Either Bush. It's just.
Yeah, Bush probably wouldn't have done it. I'd like to think Reagan would have done it or Nixon would have done it. What was your favorite moment from 2025? 615-737-9986. Brooks is in the back room answering the phones.
Can people call more? Because I'm not getting a lot of calls.
We got to get the kid to work.
Call in more calls, and yes.
615-737-9986. Heck of a solicit. Kid's a pro. He hasn't been doing it this long. Dude, so the other day, I had the show in Little Rock. So I had all the broadcast equipment set up in my studio, and I was roaming around the house, and I had finished doing the broadcasting, and my wife walked up, and she said that my youngest, my 3-year-old, was sitting at the microphone saying, "It's WTN. My dad's not here right now, but there's a lot of news, and it's cold outside." I swear, it's amazing. Mason, what was your favorite moment of 2025?
I don't know. In-N-Out coming here is pretty great. I think the zebra story is one of my favorites just because why does all the cool stuff happen right as I leave Murfreesboro?
It always does.
It's such a bummer, but
we got
that was really cool. I think the inauguration has changed all of our lives, so I think that's probably my top one just because we're pushing towards a better future, and obviously Kamala didn't win, so I think it's probably for the best mark
that was an awesome turn of events. Kamala Harris not winning. We all knew that Trump had things pretty much locked up. I mean, after the assassination attempt, after the cosign from RFK Jr., it was hard to imagine a world where Donald Trump wasn't going to win that presidency. But we also felt it was going to be hard to imagine Joe Biden winning in 2020, so we knew that the steal was going to be there. Am I the only one who, leading up to the inauguration, those days between January 1st and January 20th, really the day since after the election, I was just hoping Trump would make it to the inauguration? Am I the only one that was real nervous about that? And then when they moved the inauguration inside, there were all those rumors about safety concerns and safety risks, and that the temperature wasn't really why they moved the inauguration inside. It was because they were nervous about violence. It was crazy, man. God bless Donald Trump. This country would be in a world of hurt without him. 615-737-9986. Let's go to Sharon in the borough. What's up, Sharon? How are you?
Hey, I'm great. My favorite day. My favorite, like Elf says, smiling is my favorite. But because we've watched it 1,000 times because that's my son's favorite. My favorite is Bring Your Kids to Work Day. I love it that Brooks is on there. Brooks. It's Brooks with an S on the end. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Brooks.
He's doing an awesome job. I love it. So the Somali corruption, oh my goodness. Is it wrong to want them all deported and Walt and all his administration who was involved deported?
No, I don't think that's wrong at all. And I think one of the nice things about 2025 is that we've been able to kind of stop the self-censorship. Like, migration is out of control. Immigration is out of control. We need to pause on everything. When you have a group of people, 80,000 coming into Minneapolis, completely changing the voting demographics, 80% of them are on some form of government welfare, and then you have fraud to the tune of billions upon billions of dollars, fraud almost equaling the GDP from the country they came from. No, I don't think you're wrong in wanting that at all. These people came into the country, they refused to assimilate, and that closed, self-segregated community is not letting any of the information out about the fraud. They're perpetuating what they did exactly in their home country. It's right. We played a clip earlier in the show. Somalia is ranked 179 out of 180 on the corruption index for countries. And we thought that everything would be fine if we brought them here.
Yep. I don't understand why more taxpayers aren't livid over this.
They should be. And the mainstream media should be more livid over this, but it seems like they're more angry that a 23-year-old kid scooped them on the news story of the year than they are about the fraud being committed.
Yep, which is disgusting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sharon, I appreciate you calling in as always. And Brooks wanted to say something to you real quick.
Thank you, Sharon, for calling.
Oh, you're welcome. You're adorable, and you're doing a great job.
Well, we appreciate you, Sharon.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate you too. Bye-bye.
615-737-9986. Let's go to Scott in Hendersonville. Scott, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man? How are you?
Well, hello, Chris. Brooks is doing a great job, by the way, behind the glass.
Sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, I've got to thinking about something, and been listening to this story about Nick and David, going door to door up in Minnesota. And I'm in your camp. Don't get me wrong. My wife is very, very political. She's way more in your camp than I am. I'm sort of a political kind of guy, but I'm thinking about this $100,000 reward. And, in the interest of balance, heard you and Brian talking about balanced news. And I'm just wondering, not too many people have $100,000 laying around to make a legitimate offer like that. I'm kind of wondering what's backing that $100,000. Did that pop into your head at all?
Nah, I mean, not really. I think who knows if he has it. He might not have it. He might just be saying and so sure of his information that he doesn't really need it to back up the claim.
It might be like a sarcastic comment almost.
Yeah, and at the same time, I mean, maybe they do have it. I don't know much about this guy David's background, other than he's paying attention a bit too much than the leadership in Minnesota wants him to be paying attention. But he made the claim, and I'm here for it. The one thing that the liberals could do if they wanted to, just disprove him, just prove him wrong.
Don't think that one's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you, Scott, and I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. This is the clip he was talking about with David this is right outside the Quality Learning Center, Luring Center, yesterday in Minneapolis. He said, we have all this evidence. You're welcome to take pictures of it. And if you can disprove any of the claims, I got $100,000 for you.
No, don't call any parents. Anybody want to take me up? You $100,000 if you $100,000 if you can disprove my information.
$100,000 if you can disprove the information. Why not take him up on it? Let's go to Julia in Jolton. Julia, welcome to the Chris Hand Show. How are you?
I'm great. Your little helper on the phone's adorable.
Oh, thank you so much. We're putting him to work. If the kids are going to come in, they got to work.
Well, you can answer this question. I bet he could answer it. Explain to me why, if these Somalians are on federal assistance and poor and have no money, why do they need to send their children to daycare?
Right. If you don't have a job and you're not working during the day, why do you need the child care?
I'm stumped. I can't figure it out for the life of me. Please don't let me go into the new year with this quandary.
The whole thing's a scam. It stinks like to high heaven, and everybody knows it, Julia. I appreciate the call. I wish I had a better answer for you on why they need to put their kids in daycare. All we know is that Tim Walz wanted to make it easier to open daycares. He wanted to make it affordable, and gee whiz, he knocked that out of the park. Let's go to Danielle in Nashville. Danielle, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Chris. Thank you. I was just calling in. One of my highlights of this year was being invited on the show to share with your audience what's going on in the trucking industry.
Danielle Chaffin, they should have put that on the screen. This is our trucking and logistics expert. You have been such a huge part of the show this year, and we're so grateful for the information that you brought to the table.
Well, I appreciate you for having me on. We have industry-wide, and we haven't gone viral like the daycares, but the fraud and hold on, puppy. Yes, dear. My 4-year-old. But it's very similar to what's going on in the daycares. And one of the things that I posted yesterday on X, how can I get the trucking industry to go as viral as the daycares? And people are like, show up to the trucking companies. That's a terrible idea. It's just not the same environment. Right. But it's the same concept, same type of buildings. Who knows if there's actually people working there or not?
Yep. It's insane. It absolutely
It
is. Danielle Chaffin is a great Twitter account to follow if you want to get up to speed on what's going on in the trucking industry with the illegal aliens that are trucking. If you need a rabbit hole to dive down as you have time off over the next couple of weekends, let me suggest Danielle's X account. Danielle, what is your X account?
Yeah, it's maybe Danielle with 3 E's on the end of Danielle.
It is the best follow that you could do to close out your 2025 is following Danielle on X. I guarantee it. Maybe Danielle with 3s. Danielle, we love you. We're going to get you back on the show in 2026, and hopefully we can get Secretary Duffy on as well, so that way we can corner him.
That'll be awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, I appreciate you, Danielle. Thank you for calling in. Let's go to Brian. I got time for one more call. Let's go to Brian, who's driving.
Hey,
What's up, Brian?
Hey, I like to try to get in this fraud thing because I bring home $1,485 from Social Security because I had to retire early due to my health. Still trying to fight disability for 3 years. I go down to the food stamp thing. I make too much. So, you take $1,000 out of rent, you take your electricity, and you take your food. I got maybe $35 left.
It's insane.
So maybe I need to move to Minnesota.
Yeah, let's get you a daycare center, man. We could fix this real fast. My wife actually sent me a meme last night, and it was a guy driving in his car. He's crying, right? It's just a grown man crying, and it said the caption said, "Me driving to work, realizing I should have just opened a daycare center in Minnesota."
Exactly, 100%, sir. Have a great holiday.
Hey, I appreciate you, man, and thank you for calling in. I mean, I think that's the real life impact that we're seeing from the fraud, right? American citizens get put last, but all the immigrants get put up on a pedestal, and it's disgusting. Hopefully, we see that tide continue to turn in 2026. It's 11:22. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dozens of people have already been convicted in Minnesota for stealing millions in taxpayer money. Now you got to hear what Governor Tim Walz is firing back. Coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I got quite a few people asking me to send them that meme of the guy crying, thinking he should have just started a Somali daycare. I put it on my Instagram story, at ChrisHandOnAir. While you're on my Instagram page, hit the follow button. I will follow back. It's a heck of a meme. It's a heck of a meme. I'm also reading your text messages as well. Somebody's very upset with me. 0988. Very upset because I thought that the meme that Donald Trump posted on the No Kings protest day, where he was in the jet with the crown, dropping the excrement on the protesters. So I thought it was funny. I thought I had the audacity to chuckle. He said, "Do you know?" This is I'm going to read it verbatim, except for the swear word. I'll censor that. "Do you know what idiots you sound like?" I'm reading it verbatim. Do you know what idiot you sound like? Is it funny for the president to S all over the American people? You're as big a D as he is.
No, I don't know what idiot I sound like.
And also, the meme was funny, and I'm not going to pretend it wasn't.
6'7".
This kid. You hear that, 0988? You got an 8-year-old dropping a 6'7" on you.
4'1".
Okay. Get him back to answering phone calls. We got to get that kid back to work.
Okay.
You got to earn that In-N-Out burger after the show.
Okay, but you're getting me a slushie.
They don't have slushies at In-N-Out.
Milkshakes.
All right, touche.
Deal.
We got a lot to cover. Ken Weaver.
Yes, sir.
What was your favorite moment from 2025, my friend?
My daughter getting engaged.
Oh, man.
Very blessed. All I've ever wanted is from a baby girl to be, number one, safe, loved, and happy. And she is. And we're very excited about this young man joining our family.
How amazing is that? When did they get engaged?
It was, I can't remember. It was like August or September.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, they went down to Chattanooga, and they were just kind of walking around looking at some of the sights. All of a sudden, he drops down on one knee and shows her the ring.
Did you cry like a baby with tears of joy as soon as you found out, or were you kind of like at first?
No comment. No, I was very happy. We knew it was coming. It was great the way that he asked Jennifer and I. We were all out to dinner one time, and my daughter goes to the restroom. And he says, I've got to tell you something. I've got to ask you something really quickly before she gets back. And so he asked, and we said, absolutely.
You got to ask the dad of the bride. You have to do it. I had to ask my father-in-law. He said, let me think about it. And no, he said, yeah, absolutely. But you got to ask Brooks, if you're paying attention, take note, man. When you ask the girl if she will marry you, you got to ask the dad first. Congratulations to the Weavers. That is. All right. Well, good decision for now. Good decision for now.
You got a little time there.
You'll figure things out. But congratulations to you guys. That is the best news that we could share. 11:30 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Well, the Trump administration's cracking down on Minnesota following that viral video claiming some daycares receiving public funds are not actually providing any child care. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Services moving to block $185 million in taxpayer funds for child care programs. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz firing back, accusing President Trump of politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans. Adding, we've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along.
Well, dozens of people have been convicted in Minnesota for stealing millions in taxpayer money meant to help those in need. Governor Walz has said he needs legislative help to continue the crackdown. Right now in Tennessee, officials say there was a major drop in traffic deaths this year. State officials reporting 1,045 fatalities, down from 1,194 last year. That's a 14% decrease. Memphis leading the improvement with 90 fewer deaths. Nashville had 13 fewer deaths for a total of 255. Tennessee's hemp industry faces major changes starting January 1st. Oversight of hemp products will shift from the Department of Agriculture to the Alcoholic Beverage Commission, bringing stricter rules. As for the smokable hemp products containing THCA, hemp store manager in East Nashville, Allison Drumright, telling News 2.
So June 30th, THCA is going to be banned. That is our smokables. That is the flower that we sell. That is our vapes. You see it in some edibles, but not loads. So it's not really going to affect any edibles. We're just going to see this with our smokables.
Now, Congress quietly added language to a recent spending bill that redefines hemp, capping total THC at just 0.4 milligrams per container, which that's a change retailers claim could destroy their business. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. I could tell you about these safes, but I'd rather just tell you about Aaron Parker. Let me level with you for a second. Aaron Parker is a great guy, and if you were going to buy a gun safe, you could get him anywhere. But wouldn't you want to buy it from somebody who you can put a face and a name to the business? Wouldn't you want to buy it from a guy who put his life on the line serving this country? Wouldn't you want to buy it from a guy who has extensive background in law enforcement and security? That's what you're getting with Aaron Parker. You're getting a Christian who is running a family business with his two sons, who are both based and great guys as well. One of his sons actually left the military because he didn't want to be forced to take a vaccine. This is the background on the family. These guys stand on business. They stand on principle. And that's what you're getting when you buy a safe from Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. I could try and tell you about the safes. I think Aaron does a better job. He runs a YouTube page. Just search for Parker Safes and Vaults on YouTube. He breaks down every safe that they have in stock, what's good about it, what's not so good about it, why it's perfect for you, why it's not perfect for you. And you can research with his YouTube channel the safe you want for your needs and your specifications before you even hit the store. And when you hit the store, you're going to be impressed. These guys have been in Shelbyville since 2009 doing the safe business, and there's nowhere else that you want to shop. Discreet, careful, professional. These guys are the best. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. If you need a safe, you need to go to Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. Find them online, parkersafes.com. It's 11:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We're moments away from the last lightning round of 2025. Moments away. Real quick, I had to repeat moments away because Mason just like popped up. Like he's like, oh no, I got to hit the button. Don't hit the button yet. Rick is on the line. I want to talk to Rick before we launch into the lightning round. Rick in Nashville, you're next on the Chris Hand Show. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, Chris, my brother, I'm glad your daughter's great. I just wanted to say I wish every Republican, that prominent Republican, could get on TV with all they need to say is nobody is above the law. We got that shoved down our throat on Trump, and it proved out he was not breaking the law, but that's all we heard from them is nobody's above the law.
That's true. That's true. But there is, I think there's a Somali factor in there. I think the Somalis are allowed to be above the law for the time being, it seems.
Yeah, it seems that way, but it always turns around. But I think those two ladies that you played are two of the ones that really preached that on TV, too.
Yep.
About nobody being above the law. So.
Yep, you're absolutely right, man. Hey, I appreciate the call, Rick. Thank you so much. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. Right now, are you excited? Mason, are you hype? Are you feeling okay?
I'm ready.
It's like don't be sad that it's over. Be happy it happened. You know what I mean?
Wait, are you saying we're leaving this in 2025?
No.
Oh, cool.
It's just the last lightning round of 2025.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every single day at this time, except for a couple times a week when we don't, because other things are happening. But most of the time, we do this all the time. Does that make sense? If those kids could read, they'd be very upset. The Quality Leering Center. All right, we called the lightning round. We run through all the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, and stories that we wanted to make sure we mentioned because they're either funny or they're wild or they're just something that you need to know. We call it the lightning round. Ooh, is that Brooks hitting the lightning? Mason has never been that quick on the lightning. Shout out to Brooks. Good job, man.
I definitely didn't train him to do it.
Oh, no, that's that natural instinct in him. He's got that radio guy in him.
It's that hand instinct.
You got bit by the radio bug. The kid's been firing off hotkeys all day.
He's ready.
Did you hear him accidentally fire off a dun 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 during Ken's newscast?
I may have told him it was okay, and then realized that the slider was still on.
I kind of want that for every newscast.
In today's news,
or we could play.
Dun, dun, dun.
We could play this one.
The Joan version is better. Do you like the Joan version?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. One day we couldn't find the dun dun dun, so Joan had to step in.
We need to take that clip out of Anchorman where Will Ferrell's character is getting ready to do a cannonball. I've got a very important announcement to make.
We do. This is true. Last lightning round of 2025.
It's big.
It's crazy. It's crazy that it's here already. All right, first story in the lightning round. You ready for this? China is thinking about banning Tesla's retractable door handles over safety concerns. That's right, China. China. That's the one. Not to be confused.
China?
Yes, not to be confused with Taiwan or Japan or best or worst Korea. We're talking about China.
China?
That's right.
China.
That's my favorite. We got to
China?
The one where he goes, China. That's my fave. So they're going to get rid of the retractable door handles. China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology has announced new regulations that will prohibit the use of retractable door handles popularized by Elon Musk's Tesla on new vehicles sold in the country, citing safety concerns over occupants being trapped during collisions or power loss. Authorities in the United States are also currently investigating Tesla's door handles. They are a little weird, if we're being honest. The button system, like, it's cool. Have you ever been in a Tesla with the button? It's cool. But if you lose power, you lose the button. And many people don't know that there is the emergency release. There's like an emergency pull on the front doors that is in sight, sort of. And then there's a hidden one in the back seat. It is a little dicey. I'm not going to lie to you.
Get out of town.
I know. And I don't want to, I really don't want to end the year giving props to China. It's not something I've spent the year doing.
China?
But I feel like this is a good thing. They probably stole the idea from us like they steal everything else.
Makes sense.
Yep. Thank you. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Do you guys want to know what you're going to be hearing a lot more of in 2026? Do you want to know? I don't think you want to know, but you're going to hear this sound, and you're going to hear it a lot more. Do you want to know what the sound is? Here, I'm going to play it for you. It's the most annoying sound in the world. Get ready. You're going to hear that everywhere. Did you hear the little plop at the end? That wasn't Donald Trump in an F-16 fighter jet dropping excrement over protesters while wearing a crown. The plop that you heard was an Amazon package.
Dropping my $900 camera on the ground.
Yes, honestly. Why did you drop that on the ground? All right, so this is in Dallas. Amazon has officially launched drone deliveries. One man who spoke with the Dallas Observer said the drones flying over his house throughout the day have a high-pitched noise that is quite annoying. Sounds like a swarm of bees. Sounds like killer bees.
It does. That's what I thought about.
I thought about murder hornets.
No!
Woo! Remember the murder hornets?
Oh, I do.
No!
R.I.P. murder hornets. So while the guy said the noise was high-pitched and very annoying,
I'm in danger.
he also did say it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool at the exact same time. Until, like Mason said, you're trying to field the punt on your $900 camera as the drone,
I'm in danger.
as the drone is dropping the package on your head. Prime members pay just $4.99 for the drone deliveries, which can arrive in about 30 minutes.
Get them out. Throw them out into the cold. Don't give them their coat. No coat.
He's exploring the hotkeys.
Yeah, you're currently hearing my 8-year-old have an itchy trigger finger on the hotkey buttons.
I remember that one, man.
Dude.
That's iconic.
It really is.
No coat. Don't give him the coat.
He doesn't deserve a coat. Send him home to his mom in her basement. He's going to be crying. He's going to say, Mom, they kicked me out.
Get them out. Throw them out into the cold. Don't give them their coat. No coat.
No coats.
That's a good moment from 2025 for sure.
Was that 2025?
Yeah.
No, that
was earlier this year.
No, dude, that was back in 16. Or no.
No.
Makes sense.
I think that was on the campaign trail back in 16, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I have a feeling that he's kicked out people from his rallies that way a few times.
Oh yes. But that,
What was
man,
his
I
last
remember
name?
that
Green?
one from a
Someone
long-
was making a big fuss during a lot of some of the stuff that Trump was trying to push through.
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
No, it was a gentleman. I can't remember his. I thought it
Al
was Green,
Green.
but what?
Not Al Green.
No.
The guy with the cane?
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. Donald Trump said things like, take their coats, throw them out in the cold at a January 2016 rally. It was in Vermont.
Get them out. Throw them out into the cold. Don't give them their coat.
And he did it again.
No coat.
He did it again in Michigan in 2020.
No!
The guy's a
Interesting.
madman.
But I remember that one from the 2016. I believe that was the 2016 rally.
Man, your memory is good, Ken.
He was hilarious. Classic Trump.
So
We're never going to have a guy doing
No.
what he did ever again.
No.
There'll never be another Trump.
Like, and people like J.D. Vance, people view him as the heir apparent. Not even close. Not even close. What did he do? When he was talking about Ilhan Omar, he's like,
That really got out of hand fast.
He said she's got the little turban.
That
Remember that?
really got out of hand fast.
That was this year. There's never been another guy like him. He said she's got the little turban. The little shing. Remember that? Yes. That was a heck of a moment.
Le who?
Is it her?
Yep. That's how we feel about Ilhan Omar for sure. I think this is the clip. What is? Oh yeah, yep. This is it. He says he's got the little shing, the little
Do we
turban.
have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, you know. That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Elon Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little shing, the little turban.
The little shing.
That's a nasty one. That's nasty.
The little shing. She got the little turban.
Yeah, dude. Nobody's. You can't match that.
No.
Because it's natural.
If those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
He's a beast. He's an absolute beast. The little shing.
I love this Elon Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little shing.
It's just so good. It's so good. All right, I got time for one more story in the lightning round. Last lightning round of 2025. Are you ready for this? 2 minutes. You've been itchy on the hotkeys. I need that lightning when I get the lightning. There we go. Canadian prisoners opt for government-assisted suicide rather than live behind bars. In the 51st state, America's hat, Canadian prisoners are given a choice. At least 15 federal inmates in Canada have chosen the latter, state-sanctioned suicide, classified as euthanasia. An order paper response confirmed by the Correctional Service of Canada shows inmates died before completing their sentence. The record indicates that 2 inmates' deaths by MAID in 2018, followed by 1 each in 2019, 2020, 2021. The number rose to 4 in 22, dropped to 1 in 2023, rose again to 2024 in 2024, and we had 1 additional in 2025. What is going on in Canada? Why are we allowing governments to push assisted suicide? That's insanity, is it not? It's insane. I don't want them as a state. I'll take Alberta. Keep Ontario. 1150, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You need to act fast. Today is your last day to take advantage of some real savings that are on the table. The federal 25C tax credit can put up to $2,000 back in your pocket on a new central AC and furnace, or up to $3,200 if you go with a high-efficiency heat pump. Those credits expire at midnight. Call Busy Bee. Say, I need that, and I want to pay for it right now. On top of that, you can stack TVA energy rebates worth hundreds more on select high-efficiency systems. On top of that, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is going to add another $1,000 off on any new HVAC replacement, 15C or higher. So if you do it today, that's federal credits, TVA rebates, and Busy Bee savings all working together in a money-saving stew. 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, or go to busybeehvac.com. It's 11:55 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We got a squad today. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom. Mason Fleming is producing. I've had a co-host all day in one, Brooks Hand.
What's up?
And now we have the beautiful Joan Jones in studio.
Kind. I can't believe you get a co-host. I should have thought of bringing him on in.
You should have brought a It really does make the time fly by.
Yeah.
But we're teaching him things, how to skirt child labor laws.
And also how to get in and out.
Yep. Oh, yeah, we're going to In-N-Out after this.
Oh, are you really?
I said to him, are you more excited about coming into work with me, or are you more excited about going to In-N-Out after? And he said, Dad, I'm doing it all for the burger.
Yeah.
Gotta work for the burger.
Good job, buddy. You know where you know where it's at.
Joan Jones, you're stepping into the host seat. I'm so excited for you. I've listened to Joan doing the host thing. She did an awesome job. When she filled in for me, my wife had to take my car keys away because I was about to come to the station and be like, that's it. I can't have a fill-in doing this good. My wife said, it's Christmas Eve. The kids will cry. I said, do you listen? Or do you hear how good she's doing?
No. You know what?
We can't allow
we
this.
We had a great time.
He wasn't listening.
He wasn't listening? Thank you,
listening.
Brooks. So we had a great time because we were doing what people's Christmas miracles were. So like miracles in their life.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, people just brought it. They just brought the best stories I have ever heard about miracles.
I love it.
So it was a terrific time.
What do you
What's
got?
your favorite one?
What was your food? It's a good question.
So there was a lady that called in. First of all, Ken has a terrific miracle story, which I will let him tell. But there was a lady that called in. She said her son was 5 years old, climbed up at a tree in their yard, fell flat down on his belly. So the next day he had a bellyache. She was like, okay. The day after that, it got worse, and then it got worse. And eventually they took him to the doctor, and they found out that he had bladder cancer, like stage 4 bladder cancer because of, I know. And they got him help. And today he's like a 30 or a 40-year-old buck ride. Like he rides the, I don't even know, like a
rodeo thing?
Yeah, kind of like
bull riding?
rodeo. Yeah, bull riding. That's it, bull riding. And he's healthy and terrific. And they still call the tree in their backyard the tree of life.
I love that.
Isn't that so, like a story like that, or a story like Ken's?
It's like awesome.
It really is. This is how you know God exists.
Yes.
Like these cool things that happen that you cannot explain.
Like, because if the devil exists, then God, there has to be a God.
Oh, without a doubt.
100%. 100%. One time when Brooks, how old were you? Brooks saved a little girl one time at a mall play area. There was a young girl who couldn't have been more than 1.5. And the mom had just put her in a car seat. And Brooks was 3 or 4. And the little girl had a bouncy ball, one of those little bouncy balls, and had put it in her mouth. And Brooks, from like across the play area, ran over and was like, your baby is about to choke. The mom was like, what? And he like interrupted all these adults. And he's like, no, you need to stop. Like,
whoa.
And they had to like pull the bouncy ball out of the baby's throat.
Whoa.
It's Brooks' miracle story.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Kid's a hero.
Yes. You know why? Because you're an older brother and you get it. Like, you get it. I don't know. Was he an older brother at that point?
And
yeah.
my mom literally threw all the bouncy balls away in our house.
She got rid of them all.
Yeah, that's a good result. Yeah.
Brooks did a good job. But we asked him his favorite moment from the year, and he said, hanging out with my brother. That was it.
Nice.
Nothing
you guys
better.
got to do like cool things like go to a baseball game with your dad, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Brother and dad. And then my favorite event of this year was Charlie Kirk getting the Medal of Freedom.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. We watched that together.
Cool. Yeah.
That was definitely the biggest story of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That has the most impact.
Absolutely.
Yep. Most Googled search term of 2025 was Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. I believe it. I believe that.
The zebra was funny too. Like
the zebra? Yeah, that was a good story.
The zebra.
Yeah.
And we have priorities in my house. The big story is obviously Charlie. But that zebra story is coming in hot at number 2. What do you got planned for today, Joan, as you jump into the host seat?
Well, there's just so much to this Somali fraud story. And I recognize now that it's kind of become a cottage industry. You know, it's popping up everywhere. You talked about Columbus, Ohio. There's also a guy in Philadelphia doing the same thing. And so we're going to talk about how it now is a cottage industry and how people like us cannot be ignored anymore.
Amen.
It's totally happening.
I love it. Joan Jones
So
going to
much
do a
more, too.
fantastic job. Don't forget, you can listen to Joan Jones anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. She'll also be up on YouTube and Rumble. That way you can see the beautiful Joan Jones. Hit like and subscribe. We got to get those numbers up. That's the real reason we have Joan filling in today. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.